on.
Oh my God. All right. I love this. We are live. Hi, Rach.
Hi.
So happy to have you. All right. So guys, when you come on, just let us know, say who you are and where you're from and what brought you to today's Done with Dieting Live. And before we get started, I want to tell you the special lady that I have with us. I know. It's always fun to read like your best friend's bio and be like, I need your bio to share with people. Like my celebrity guest. Yes, that's right. That's what you are. So I just want to tell you guys, when we're coming into being done with dieting and we're coming off of the heels of Valentine's Day, one of the things that I hear so often, whether married, in a relationship, or looking for love, so much of it is still around not feeling comfortable in our bodies. Either, being married and not having sex, or kind of disconnecting and not wanting to be touched and pulling the sweatpants move way too often, or just not going out and dating because you're not happy with the way that you look. And all of the different things that come up that cause more isolation instead of connection, and more negativity and guilt and shame, and all of the things that actually cause us to have a lack of self-love that end up turning us directly to the refrigerator instead of to where our heart really wants to be, which is feeling accepted, fully loved, acknowledged, and with our partners, or finding our partner. So what I wanted to do today was bring on Rachel D'Alto, who is a relationship expert. You may have seen her on Married at First Sight. It's an awesome show. So definitely, Rach, it was season 2.
Season 4 and 5.
Okay, I'm so wrong.
You were really close, actually.
I'm really wrong. Okay, she was on season 4 and 5. She's done so much television. You can find her like everywhere. But what I love so much about her approach and why I wanted to bring her to you is because, and she and I she's like my best friend. So we've talked about all of these things about not feeling comfortable in your body, where, we both wanted to like call out fat for dates and been like, I just don't feel good. I'd rather sit on my sofa, and pushed each other to really show up in a different way. And so Rachel, as being the relationship coach on Married at First Sight, television host, hypnotherapist, she's well known for her work as an expert on, and that show was by Lifetime. And she's known as an expert in that field, and also working with her clients, running retreats and doing group programs. And she has an amazing group program where this is like a big piece of it, about really falling in love with you to find the love that you want, or create the love that you want. So I thought it was very fitting to have her here. And I'm just so excited to share her with you because she's absolutely amazing. So Rach, starting out, I'm like, what brought you, first off, you were a lawyer, so then you got into the relationship world. What even brought you into that?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a typical transition. So I was an attorney, and then I started a dating company, which, all lawyers do, right? And then I realized that there was this whole love industry that I didn't realize was out there. Dating company led to media led to being requested for coaching. And at that point, I thought coaching was like soccer or baseball. Didn't understand what this world even was. Yeah. And then I realized, like, I always was fascinated with psychology, and I've started and stopped a PhD in psych about 3 times, but I felt always drawn towards the coaching practice and being able to help people. So it just evolved. It was this really bizarre, natural, organic evolution that typically probably doesn't happen from being a litigator to being a love coach and a relationship expert. So, but it all kind of integrates. When I was an attorney, it was all about mediation, and I've taken so much of that, because I'm going to tell you one thing: when you work with couples, you are essentially a mediator.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, on Married at First Sight, I mean, you were the go-to. I mean, so for those of you that don't know, Married at First Sight, you literally marry a person without ever seeing them. And it's a legitimate marriage. It's a reality TV show, legitimate.
Totally legal.
Yeah, right. Like, and you see, and you have to go watch this. Rachel's seasons are the best. And I'm like, and I'm not just saying that because I love
she
her.
is. She actually
I'm
is.
like, no, there's. And you see how these couples work through their stuff together. Like you work it when you're in partnership, and they were so lucky to have you because so many of those couples, stayed married. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, and you make a good point, and kind of what we started talking about, we've talked about this forever, is the integration between the way you feel about your body, the way that you treat your body, and the way that you love another person, or the way that you open yourself up to love. Like, it is completely integrated. I've seen it on the show. We've had people who weren't as comfortable in their own skin get married, and in the beginning, it's kind of like you can kind of hide things. Especially if you're in a relationship, you can totally hide things for like the first couple of months. Yeah. And then like all of a sudden, all those insecurities come out.
I can't imagine being on that show and being like, oh, okay, I'm supposed to like get into bed with this person and I just married them a minute ago and that was my first time seeing them, especially if you have insecurities.
Yeah, and then let's go to a beach for our honeymoon and wear a bikini on national television. Yeah, so trust me, everything comes up.
Yeah, girl. So, all right, this is what I wanted to ask you. There's so many questions, but I like in the Done with Dieting Lives, we do 30 minutes of like hard hitting. What can I give you? What can we give you? So you are my first guest.
Oh my God, this is a lot of pressure.
I know. No, not pressure. So this is what I wanted to ask you. What advice for those that are sitting there going, I'm married, have kids, my husband loves me more than anything. And he compliments me. He loves my body. He wouldn't care if I gained 50 pounds. I'm not happy. And I don't want him to touch me and I don't feel comfortable. And therefore I haven't had sex in, 6 months or 3 months, or I just kind of cringe, or I reject his compliments. These are all things that I hear, from the women in my community. What would you say to get out of that, to regain that connection?
Well, I mean, this is something that you and I both do, and I'm sure you do it with your clients, is like they have to focus on themselves. And again, I hear this too, where it's the partner isn't the person with the problem. It's you. It's you projecting the problem to them and understanding that, the only person who can take control of this is you. But if you don't, this is the advice that I have, you will kill your relationship. And you're going to kill it with your insecurities, because eventually that really loving, patient, kind person is going to get frustrated. Like, people have a limit of how much you can reject them. And think about it that way. I think, from the relationship side of things, I would say, when you have someone, your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your wife, whoever it is, coming to you and saying, I love you, you're beautiful, I want to have sex with you, I want to be intimate with you, and you're consistently saying no, 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 because of your own shit, they are eventually going to get frustrated to the point where it's going to cause more of a ripple effect in your marriage. So it's so important to, from that start, recognize, and self-awareness is everything in both of our work, understanding like, I'm having this reaction. I am insecure about this. I am unhappy in myself. I need to go fix that, because otherwise it's going to affect every area of your life. It's not just going to affect your relationships with your intimate relationships. It's going to affect your professional relationships, because you and I both know when you feel terrible about yourself, you don't want to do anything.
I mean, girl, and you and I, our businesses, I mean, we're in the spotlight. We have to. So it's in that space where it's a hard, there's a balance, and you have to show, it's showing up. And even if you're not in our space, as a mom and with kids and when your spouse has needs, I mean, there's that space for showing up, and just shutting down and turning away. Ladies, it just causes you to do more of the same. Again, it drives you right to that refrigerator, which is the last place that you want to be. So I want to get anybody on that's here. Hi, Linda. I want you guys to say, if, whatever you're experiencing or what's going on for you, if you're open, feel free to ask us any questions. And just let us know if this is resonating. Have you been there? And what's kind of going on for you in the area of love, intimacy, and self-love, and what that looks for you.
I actually want to share something from yesterday for me, because this is something that I want people to understand. I'm going to get really real right now. So first of all, this is a journey. This is not like a destination. Like you show up and like, I have a lot of self-love. I'm a pretty darn confident person, but I still have moments where my boyfriend was touching an area of my back last night. And I was just like, oh, that's not my good spot. Oh God, he still likes me back there. Like, what is that? Like, please stop. Or why are you squeezing that right now? Like, legitimately, this is last night. So one, you know, on top of all of this, I just want to say, be gentle with yourself and know that like none of us are perfect and be like, you know, take it or leave it kind of mode. We just try to get to the best place possible.
So when you were in that moment and you were having those thoughts, how did you stay in the moment and connect it to him, you know, and bring yourself back from being in your head so that you could, right? Because it's so easy to be in the moment, to be intimate, and then have a thought of, oh my God, he's touching my legs. Oh, ooh, was that, you know, why is he touching my mid? Like, I don't want him to touch my belly there. Like, I'm feeling so bloated. All of a sudden, there's like a complete energetic disconnect. Right?
100%. How
do you bring yourself back in that moment?
It is a conscious redirection. It is legitimately in a split second. I was like, okay, you're being an idiot. So sometimes my talk is probably not like the best wording to myself, but it gets me out of it where I'm just like, you need to stop. This man loves you for who you are and all of your flaws, because there's a lot. But you need to understand that, like, just enjoy the moment. And I literally just redirected and I was like, okay, that feels good, or this feels good, or this feels comfortable, or I know that, you know, regardless of what I think, he's cool. So it really is a conscious redirection, and it's something that happens all the time. So it's not like, you know, what we talk about all the time is, you know, that this path, and always knowing that you're going to fall off the horse and you're going to get back on. And the best thing that you can do is have these tools to say, I recognize it. I'm just not going to go into that vortex and get stuck there and ruin a beautifully intimate moment.
I love this. Okay. So now I'm going to ask you another question that I see with women in my community, which is, you know, they're in a marriage and they're not feeling that connection. They've been married a long time. They have kids. The newness is gone. And they're really wanting the romance back, the passion back. And they're doing the work on themselves. You know, they're trying to be in that space of like, I know that I want this. What are the steps that they can take with their partners to get them to open up and to see about doing things differently without becoming the man, right? Or without, you know, just like pushing through there, because even when you're married for a long time, there's insecurities.
100%.
What if I try and he's going to reject me? What if I go and get lingerie and he doesn't notice me? What if, right? So how do we make those shifts?
Well, I think it's twofold. One, understand that he didn't change. Like, he's not changing. I don't know what your, you know, specific situations are, but like in most cases, I'm sure the women you work with are kind of like fed up. And they're like, I want to change. I want to feel good about myself. I want a body that I'm comfortable in. So first of all is understanding that could sometimes feel like a threat to him, and not that it is, but I think it's kind of recognizing like, oh my gosh, my wife is now getting like fully hotness on, and now I'm scared, you know, because I'm over here still. So you need to kind of, one, guide him through your own process and let him understand the reasoning why you're doing what you're doing and the reason why you're working on yourself, and letting him know that this is for me, this is for us. And then to reignite that stuff, there's a couple different things. One, my favorite book in the entire world for reigniting romance is The 5 Love Languages, which I talk about all the time. It's amazing. It's not super sexy, but it will get you to a point where you guys are trying. And I think that's what happens so often. The romance dies because we become complacent. The romance dies because we get very stagnant in the way that we appreciate our partners and the way that we make an effort for our partners. And 5 Love Languages is going to show you how you can speak your partner's love language, and you can help them to, you know, feel really appreciated by you. You can help them to feel, you know, connected to you. And it's a great jumpstart. And then past that, it's like, start doing what you did in the beginning. I think it's Tony Robbins that said, like, if everybody actually did what they did in the beginning of a relationship, there wouldn't be an end. And it's the truth.
Because people stop trying, right? Like they stop they stop doing the things that were romantic, were the little gestures, were noticing. I feel like in relationships, they stop seeing each other. And it kind of like there's that miss in where you start morphing.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just not sexy anymore, you know, and then sex is scheduled or sex doesn't happen. You know, in the beginning of a relationship, it's always like hot and heavy, you know, hopefully, and people are enjoying themselves and enjoying each other. And then it just becomes kind of routine. And I see that happen, you know, in a couple months, let alone people have been married for decades, where it's just kind of like, you got to put the effort in. And at the end of the day, as much effort as you're putting into yourself, you need to give the same amount of effort to your relationships, because that's the only way that they end up thriving, is if you put the work in.
So now let's talk to the single ladies, or to the women that are divorced, just single.
You know, I go into the Beyonce song immediately as soon as you say single ladies. Single ladies, all single ladies. Oh. Can't believe I just did that.
What was that? Wait,
I started kind of like falling off my chair, so that didn't work out so well.
That was amazing.
Yes, single ladies. Let's talk about them.
I say that at weddings. Yes, it's like a dream. Okay, so for single women, I know you have an amazing program that helps women to find love, women and men. So I want to ask you, in terms of getting yourself out there and finding romance, like, it's great to be out there, but you know, the dating pool, all the different online apps and different forms, what would you say are the best ways to put yourself out there? I know you mentioned obviously working on yourself, but what are those other pieces for single women that are putting it off until they lose the weight and feel good? And they've kind of got like, just give me 6 more months or 3 months or 90 days. Well, 90 days is 3 months, but what do I,
you are,
what are those things, right? Like, how does one push through? Because resistance is real, girl.
Mm-hmm. This is half of my clients who try to push it off and they want to put things on pause. So I have my one-on-one clients, and then I have my group coaching online program, and then a fully online program, which is for singles and for married people, that work them through all of that stuff that comes before putting yourself out there. And I swear to God, every single one of them is like, all right, I'm going to work on all this stuff behind the scenes. And then eventually I'll put myself on Bumble or Tinder or Match.com or whatever it is that we decide to put them on. And I'm like, no. Yes, if there is something that is like on fire that needs to be dealt with, like, we're not going to put you out online fully inflamed. Like, we'll deal with whatever that is. But if you are in a remotely good place, if you are not completely negative, which is something we often work through a lot in the beginning, if you're frustrated with dating or frustrated with yourself in general, you need to just get out there. Because like you said, like, I know I have been trying to lose the same 10 pounds for like a year and a half. If I waited, you know, and said, oh my gosh, I'm going to wait until I lose these last 10 pounds, never would have happened. You know, never would have put myself out there, never would have done the things, because sometimes it takes longer, or sometimes things get in the way, or maybe you become, you know, comfortable with where you're at. But the thing of it is that the longer you delay, the more frustrated it becomes. So if you are in a remotely good mindset, just get out there, start doing something. It doesn't have to be everything. That doesn't mean that you have to go on eHarmony and fill out a 5,000, page questionnaire. Go on Bumble. Bumble is like my favorite thing. It's how I met my guy. I'm totally open about that. He's amazing. It's the easiest way to do it. Like, literally, you can be on it in like 2 seconds. Every time a friend comes over that's single, I'm like, all right, give me your phone. Like, I don't care what you're doing right now. I'm like, give me your phone. And my friend who was super resistant to it last week is now on a 3rd date tonight with the guy that she met on Bumble. So, like, just get out there. Like, I understand.
Friends married from Bumble and Tinder and online apps.
Great. Get on it.
It's about taking action, right? It's about not
put the energy into it.
Like, you can't just sit there and wish the weight off, like,
and you can't meet someone sitting on your freaking couch unless you actually swipe on your couch and then go out and meet them in real life.
Which would be ideal. Yeah.
Yeah.
So No, but and so ladies, I really want you to hear this. It's really why I love and weight loss. They're so synonymous. It's the same thing with like money and like how we do one thing is how we do really most things.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not taking action in one area, then you most likely aren't in the other. So what you want to do, yeah, Rach with Bumble. Oh my God, girl, you caught me today. I love it. So what I want to tell you is, it's about taking action. Opportunities don't come from sitting inside your house on your sofa, and they don't come from you feeling bad about yourself and spinning out of control, sitting in isolation, because that only spins you more down a rabbit hole. Okay?
There is a lid for every pot. So I get it. Like, maybe you don't feel the best about yourself, but like, if your right person is going to love you for who you are in this moment. If I wait,
Oh yeah, what were you gonna say?
No, you go. You go. Girl. You go, girl. You go.
I was just going to say that I think, especially if you've been doing self-help or self-develop, coach, any of that stuff, there's all of that law of attraction. Like, in order to call in somebody good, you need to feel good. And if you don't feel good, then you're not going to call anybody in. And I call bullshit.
Total bullshit.
Right?
Okay, you and I both know, and I can get really personal again because this isn't going on,
That's what we do here at Dieting Live.
That's what we do. So I've been in really good places. So I've been divorced for 6 years. I have had some significant relationships in the meantime. I have been out there when I was in a really great place, super happy, super content, blah, 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 blah. And I met no one of substance. When I met my guy, I likely was at my lowest point. Like, my dog had emergency surgery. I lost a gig. I had, oh my God, there was like 13 different things. It was a lot.
It's like the universe, like, threw like,
they're like,
over, like, trying to stay standing.
Yeah. And then I literally met this person in the midst of it. Like, I was probably in like, one of my worst places. Went on Bumble for a distraction, met somebody who is, I think, one of the best people I've ever met in my life, and love them to pieces. So I call complete bullshit on you have to be perfect to find your perfect person. Now, we're not perfect.
You and I have talked about this because, okay, two things. One, I was going to say, I feel like when it's that person, I mean, they're going to love you 50 pounds less, 50 pounds more when you're in like the depths of the dark and when you're flying high. And having somebody that only wants you when you're flying high, that's where the drama, crazy, that's when we get all crazy. Because the crazy's real. You were with me, like, yeah. I went crazy. This was like,
she had a moment. It's okay. It's over now.
I was like, I lost it. Like, I totally went to stage 5 clinger. I will call myself out. Never done it before, and it wasn't pretty. Thank God it didn't last long, but this one was right by my side. Stage 5. Okay, wait. So I wanted to ask you this. Do you lost my train of thought.
Do I love you? Yes, I do.
I know.
I do.
Okay. So wait, I was going to say something. It was really profound. This is why I need a notebook. In love.
Yes.
Now, this was something when you met your guy. Yes. I said to you, because there were a few of my friends that like all met somebody at the same time, which I always see as a sign that it's like you're next, and like all these things make me happy.
It's like the bouquet.
Right? Yeah. And I was like, it's coming. They're all around. So what I wanted to ask you is, and I pointed this out to you, that at this point in your life, you had a lot of space to cultivate that relationship.
Yes.
Versus, so for all my entrepreneurs and moms that have so much going on, and, and I'm not saying you don't have a lot going on, because you did, but you, for the first time in your career, you had more space to actually put into just being available. Do you think that there's something to that? That was just an observation of mine, but do you think that there was something to that?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that people should like get rid of their kids or jobs to find love, because that seems a little counterproductive. But no, I do think there's something to be said for having availability. When you say space, I'm like, I'm not holding space for this to come in. I actually had like I had physical time. Like I had actual time to dedicate to people.
No, and you weren't in a space of like, I need love. You weren't looking for a relationship at all.
Yeah. And it was kind of like, for the first time, I wasn't traveling every other weekend, and I actually had availability, and I could make time for someone who actually lives, 15 minutes from me, as opposed to, which is why I was dating people that lived on 5 hours flights away from me. So yeah, I think it does make a difference. But I think even if you are busy, here's the thing. At the end of the day, you meet somebody that's worth your time, you reprioritize. And that's a big difference of, you have to prioritize in your life what a relationship means. Whether you're in a relationship or whether you're single, you have to prioritize it and create space. So I don't think it's necessarily that I had so much space that made it call in. I think being able to provide that easily was less stressful for me. But if I met Kevin when I was busy, I would have figured it out. You know what I mean? I've met people before during, when I was super busy. And I think that, you do what you need to do. And that's where we...
Still been on Bumble swiping?
Yeah, I was always on Bumble swipe. Whenever I got bored, I'd go on Bumble. Bumble's great. Everybody should be on Bumble. Not unless, if you're married.
All my clients that are looking for love, I'm like, just get on Bumble.
Get on Bumble. It's the easiest thing. Like, I get it. Match can be frustrating, although some people have really good luck on there. Tinder's cool. People still think it's a hookup site. Everything's a hookup site. If you go to a bar, it's a hookup site, so relax. Just go do something. Enjoy yourself and see who you connect with. And stop having so much, pressure on yourself, I think is the biggest thing. Stop having so much pressure around yourself being perfect. Stop having so much pressure around finding the perfect person, and just start enjoying yourself, and then see who you run into. Eventually, you're going to run into someone interesting, at least interesting.
Yeah. And do you think there's something to, now, what is your take on like certain number of dates, or, like if you walk in and you're not feeling it, are you kind of like going on, or?
So when it comes to like specific rules, I really only have one set of rules for people who are single. I let them pick out 4 non-negotiables, which we've talked about. Oh my God, this is bringing me back like forever ago with us, where I'm like, all right, this is the deal. You pick out 4 non-negotiables. These are like very qualities, like innate qualities within them, not whether they're 6'4", or, blue eyes versus brown, but qualities of a person. And then if you actually want to make out with them, you have to see them at least 5 times. At the end of 5 times, if you don't want to move forward, you at least have given it a chance. Obviously, if you have no desire to be touched by them after the first date, you don't have to continue it. But I do see where people don't give everyone, they think that it has to have like explosions of fireworks on a first date, and that's not how it works. So you got to give people a chance.
No, and I know a lot of the majority of my community come from that perfectionist, romanticize. It needs.
Here's my list.
Not, like if it's not this, then it's that, and they do that when they're in partnership too. It's, and I see how it's always a reflection of self and how they treat themselves. So I love how we started off this live and you said it's, when partnership, what you're doing for others, the man you want to call in, the man that you're already with, whatever that is, it's a direct reflection of your relationship to you.
It is 100%.
The main points that you really said was 1, be in action. 2, have loving thoughts when you notice those negative thoughts coming in, especially when you're in those intimate moments, and so that you can stay present and bring yourself back to being in your body. So these are all, guys, if you've been following me, this is all synonymous with what I teach with weight loss, right? And then, again, I just want to say be in action, because nothing's going to happen sitting on your sofa. And then it's a direct reflection of your language, your relationship to you. Anything else that I'm missing?
Yeah, I honestly think it's effort. Effort is everything in every direction, and that's really
a lot of
what
people
you
just
do.
think like the person's just going to show up. Just like
And
the way
they do. Like sometimes people fall from the sky. Normally they have parachutes attached to them. But I mean, for the most part, you're going to have to put some sort of effort into whether you're in a relationship or whether you're looking for one. Your relationship is not going to be perfect if you do nothing to water it. And you're not going to find a relationship if you do nothing to find it. So
yeah. And I
get out there.
He is out there. All he, she, whatever your desire is. But I also, again, just tying this back, even, with weight loss, with all of that, It's consistency, it's staying committed to your goals, and it's taking off the expectation that it was supposed to happen yesterday and that it's supposed to be like, you know, all of a sudden, you know, you put some effort in for 7 days and it's like, why isn't he here yet? Or why isn't my husband responding yet? Or why didn't this, or it should be easier. Take the shoulds away and just be in action and find joy in the method to the madness.
Amen.
So girl, okay, you have an amazing program that helps people with this, and it's super reasonable, but tell me about it. Like, where does it take somebody?
It's literally what I've been doing for the last 10 years, broken down into a 6-week online course. So it's called Unlock Love. There's 6 modules from start to finish, and it literally covers everything that we're talking about, down from the, you know, the background and the healing part of things to the pragmatic and like how to have a healthy relationship, how to find love, and then how to keep it because you've done all the work around yourself. So yeah, it's me on video, so you're stuck with me for like 6 hours, and workbooks and hypnosis tracks. So yeah, I'm super proud of it.
I loved it. It's amazing, and I always, you know, I want to bring you the most amazing people that I know to help support you in thriving in life in a body that you love, and having love and partnership, and you know, being fulfilled in your heart. I mean, that is, you know, we're not meant to live life alone. And so there was no better person to bring on after Valentine's Day than Rachel. And I just really wanted to share her with you. So the link to the program, if you want to go and check it out, it's awesome. The link is right in the feed. Yep, there it is right there. So definitely go and check it out. We have an amazing discount just for you that we put together. And it's really to help support you in your quest for love and self-love. And Rachel does an amazing job really going deep on that. And it is that self-healing piece. And that supports you in all areas of your life. And it definitely, definitely supports you when it comes to loving your body and staying committed to your own weight loss journey and being done with dieting. Girl, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. This is fun.
This is so
kind of
fun.
like our conversations on video.
I know. I can see it. And so if you have any questions, feel free. Rachel's information, we'll put that below as well. And you can contact her directly and let her know any questions that you have. But definitely go and check it out. It's so worth it. Like I said, it's so extremely reasonable, and it's so good. It is packed with everything that you need. It's amazing. I just absolutely loved it. So I was excited to share it. Rach, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Mama.
And I don't see, okay. If you guys have any questions, just post them below. And then Rach, is there anything else before we go? I just asked you that.
I think we're good. I think it, you know, I think if everybody just starts, you know, putting that effort in, get it out there.
Voter for Bumble.
I think I should be. I think I need to get it. But most of it's free, so I'm not really sure how that works.
I know. I don't know either. But I can say, I'm like, no, it's, guys, just go and check it out. Be in action. Thank you for being here. And I will see you next week with Done with Dieting Live.